As we enter 2026, I want to talk about something important in the housing and mortgage market because a lot just happened and it's setting the tone for this entire year. If you're thinking about buying, building, selling, or even just trying to decide when to make a move, this is one of those moments where understanding the setup really matters. I'm not here to hype anything, I just want to break down what we're seeing, why it matters, and what it could mean for regular people heading into 2026. As we enter this year, there's a pretty clear message coming from policymakers in the market. Housing values matter. The focus is not on crashing prices or forcing a big reset. The focus is on keeping homeowner equity intact while improving affordability through interest rates. Here's what Trump said in a recent interview.
Existing housing, people that own their homes, we're going to keep them wealthy. We're going to keep those prices up. We're not going to destroy the value of their homes so that somebody that didn't work very hard can buy a home. We're going to make it easier to buy. We're going to get interest rates down. But I want to protect the people that for the first time in their lives feel good about themselves. They feel like that they're wealthy people. And I want them to understand it. There's so much talk about, we're going to drive housing prices down. I don't want to drive housing prices down. I want to drive housing prices up for people that own their homes. And they can be assured that's what's going to happen.
Now that tells us something important about the direction of 2026. Price stability and long-term appreciation are still priorities. Now let's talk rates, because this is where a lot of people get stuck waiting. There's been a lot of discussion about changes at the Federal Reserve and more growth-focused approach as we move through 2026. Trump gave his nomination for who he would like to see replace Jerome Powell, and that was Kevin Warsh. Now, obviously, Trump would only nominate someone who's going to lower the federal funds rate. So if he is voted in by the Senate, which is expected, we will see the funds rate drop. Now, and here's the key thing that most people miss. Mortgage rates usually don't drop all at once. They move based on expectations before policy changes even happen. That's why we're already seeing buyers re-enter the market, not because rates are perfect, but because they're planning ahead. One of the biggest signals as we enter 2026 is what buyers are actually doing. Mortgage applications jumped 18% in a single week, and that happened during the severe weather across most of the country. That tells us buyers aren't frozen on the sidelines anymore. They're adjusting and moving forward. And when applications move like that, contracts and closings usually follow. Now, let's talk inventory, because this is still the biggest constraint in the market. We're running at roughly half of what the normal housing market needs in terms of new listings. A healthy market typically sees 80 to 100,000 new listings per week. We're closer to the high 40s. So when you combine rising buyer activity, tight inventory, and improving rate expectations, that's a recipe for a more competitive market as 2026 unfolds. If you're a buyer, this is why waiting for the perfect rate can backfire. Lower rates usually bring more competition, not less. If you're a homeowner, this explains why prices have held up and why equity remains strong as we enter 2026. And if you're considering building, moving up, or relocating this year, now's the time to understand your options, not guess. You don't need to predict the market. You just need a plan that works no matter what the headlines do. If you want to talk through what this year could look like for you, buying, building, refinancing, or even selling, that's a conversation worth having early. Thanks for watching, and I'll keep breaking things down as this year unfolds.